What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another Q&A. Hope everyone is doing super well. Let's see if we got this working correctly. If you guys are catching the replay, hit the thumbs up, makes a difference. As always, giving it a couple minutes to let people get in here. So if you are watching the replay, feel free to skip ahead a couple minutes. I'll just give some updates. In the meantime, everything going good, just busy, taking some time chilling lately, for sure. Doing a lot of thinking about the thing that I've sort of teased and hinted at, which is that I really want to start a big business project that is something I'm more passionate about. There's some sort of exotic car going by my window right now. What is it, Jessica? It's not an exotic car. It sounded like an exotic car. It's embarrassing. Yeah, just like, getting started on that project that I've hinted at, something more in my passions. It will still be based on Amazon partially, but not like just focus on Amazon only. And, the beauty of this Amazon thing is that it's a cash flow opportunity to do the next thing, right? So I feel like that's almost a broader piece of advice that I can give beyond just Amazon, is that like you need to figure out the cash flow in your life to be able to buy yourself the ability to do whatever else you actually want to do, or the bigger opportunities. So that's what worked for me. And that's what Amazon has been for me. And now I'm starting to think like, dang, I really should have started on something I'm also more passionate about alongside that, probably earlier. But I'm going to get started soon. So that's in the works. It's going to be a lot more sort of R&D, upfront investment, just a lot more going into it than like the more just Amazon-centric type of stuff. But yeah, that's been on my mind a lot. What else as we wait for everyone to show up? I see you guys rolling in. I'll say what's up in a second. Like I said, hit the thumbs up, makes a difference. Head over on Instagram too. Follow me there. For sure, I'm gonna go live once or twice in the next week or so. Haven't really lately. So, yeah. What's up, Shawshank, Dennis, Christian, Deepak, Velius, Mara, a bunch of people in here. What's up? What's up? First private label product is in production. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's huge. Hey Matt, what up? How's the beach? Rob from Ventura. What's up, dude? That's not too far. The beach is great. The weather has been really nice the last few days. I've definitely got my vitamin D, gotten my tan on, got our sunlight in our eyeballs. It's nice. It wasn't even supposed to be nice, but then it got like super summery the last couple days. So yeah, very nice. Hi Matt from Australia. What's up? That's cool. Never been to Australia. That's awesome. A bunch more hellos. I heard there's a new member to the Apple family. Yeah, Jessica just got a MacBook Pro. She's right off the frame right now, setting it all up. Trying to figure out. The first time you go from Windows to Mac, you're just like, you don't even know. I'm making fun of her because she's clicking on, like the trackpad. She's clicking on like the left, and I'm like, you don't have to do that. Is the U.S. marketplace too much to get into? No. I guess we're starting on questions, by the way. Might as well, as I'm sort of catching up in the chat here. How many people we got? Where is that? YouTube changed their thingy. I don't know how many people we have. One sec, guys. Trying to see. It's weird. It doesn't even say... Oh, it's like not updated. It says 0. That's not correct. Are there 0 people here? Okay. Yeah, no, I'm just playing. I'm just trying to make it so I can see it on my screen off to the side.
We lost 162.
Ha. They couldn't handle the delay. All right. So yeah, is the U.S. market too much to get into? Absolutely not. I mean, it's a big market. That should be seen as an opportunity, not a point of fear, right? It's a big opportunity. Yeah, there's definitely room on the other markets too, but like it's a big market, big money, more competition, but you're playing in the big leagues. So yeah, not too much. So glad to hear you're branching out, because I was getting a little sick of all the Amazon talk over business entrepreneurship talk. Yeah, I mean, truthfully, me too. Like as much as Amazon has been literally life-changing for me, and you guys most of you know that story. If you're new here, feel free to ask questions more on like, what I've got to that point. I'm not saying I don't want to talk about it at all, but like moving forward and as I progress as an entrepreneur and just in my career, like Yeah, I mean, I want to talk life optimization as a whole. That's beyond even just business, and just business as a whole. Even like I was even going to say online business, but really just business. You know, and I still think Amazon is the best way to get that started. I mean, it's just insane. Like to me, when I get questions and I get sometimes a little bit irritated when people want to start with like $200 or whatever, the fact that you can actually start a business that has a real shot of being something substantial for only a few $1,000s. I mean, that's like unbelievable, uncharted territories, like historically. So the Amazon opportunity is incredible. But for me, it's been like that was something that allowed me to get to a certain level of cash flow and freedom in my life. I've achieved that at this point. I've been doing this for years now. Like I've got to that level, and now I can start to sort of think about more just what do I want to do? What excites me more? Not just like what is the best little arbitrage type opportunity available to us. Who inspired you to be a great marketer? I mean, I think I'm still being inspired to be a great marketer. I feel like I'm learning more and more of that still now. I don't consider myself an expert marketer by any means, but I think like something that Gary Vee says is watch what I do, not what I say. I think that's what I do for everyone. So whether or not I like the person, whether it's, Tai Lopez, Grant Cardone, like anybody, I'm reading their business book. Like I'm always trying to see what they're doing, not just what they're saying and how they're selling. And I think that's probably the biggest way I've sold. Russell Brunson of ClickFunnels, that's a great one to study for selling, copywriting. Mike Dillard's podcast, that popped into my head. He's done some on copywriting and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say sort of that realm. Hey Matt, what bulletproof diet are you doing? What I follow is most closely just the bulletproof diet. You can look up what is the bulletproof diet, and that's basically that's the closest to what I really stick to. Sammer says, "What up?" Tell Jessica she needs to get back on the YouTube grind. You hear that, Jessica?
I did.
She hears. She hears.
I responded.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I guess I'm not there yet. How much capital would you recommend to get started? Wouldn't be a live stream without that question. I'll get a short one today. $3,000 to $6,000 optimally. Is it possible with yes? Is it possible with less? Is it possible with less? Yes, it is, but it's not optimal. It's riskier because you're going to be more fearful and more small and not really do the things to really get it going. So the best place to be would be like put in $5,000 to $6,000 with like another $5,000 to $10,000 on the back burner that you could dump in if it really works. That'd be like optimal. Because for those of you watching this that have $30,000 in the bank, like I don't think there's really a point of you necessarily dumping that in right off the start either. So I think really like $5,000 to $10,000 with another $5,000 to $10,000, that would be like seriously the best. So $3,000 to $6,000, you're getting there. $1,000 to $2,000, it's doable, but I actually think I think the chances of failing are actually higher. Which seems weird because it's like you're risking less money. But from what I see people doing, the people that invest only $1,000 are usually doing things that are just these like low opportunity, low differentiation, like they just usually, and then on top of that is then they don't have the money to really push on marketing and things like that. Let me catch up here. Hit that thumbs up. Yeah, CD, thanks for the reminder. I said it right at the beginning, but for those of you hopping in now, hit the thumbs up down there, hit the bell so you don't miss it next time. All the things. Do you use any tools to automate emails for reviews? Yes, absolutely. That is definitely actually in the software conversation, the only software I would even put into the mandatory category. Everything else is like optional. It helps you. The only one that I would say is mandatory is an email follow-up service. Like every single seller should have an automated email follow-up service. So yeah, and that's where you're going to automate your asking of reviews. Just ordered my first private label. What would you say the 3 most important things I should do next? Optimize my listing, study a launch method, etc. You basically hit it. Those are basically the 2 things that I would say, there could be infinite things within those 2 things, but those are really the 2 categories. One is get your listing up to as good as it could possibly be for that day one. Second of all, everything you're going to do for what are you going to do when it hits, right? Like, have your plan in place for PPC, have your plan in place for giveaways if you choose to go that route, have your plan in place for any influencers or email blasts or Facebook ad giveaway campaigns that you're planning on running. Have that all ready to go so that you can just, launch. Essentially, you can be ready to go. Would you recommend Amazon FBA and arbitrage on the same account? Is that a two-part? No, that's the whole question. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can have arbitrage and private label on the same account. There's no reason not to do that. What are some determining factors to reorder on a product you have launched? Some things that'll to you this is the right product. Well, obviously, if it's going really well and it's profitable, you should start planning out when you need to replenish ASAP. So that's very important. Now, even if my first order, personally, this might be different for you just starting out, even if that first order is like running at break even, I still see that as future potential for getting traction. It takes time to get traction, like I just take a more patient approach now because I have the ability to do that with having a diversification of products and businesses and brands and other things. Like I can allow for a longer runway. Like I don't need it to work like that. I don't need to do the massive extravaganza launch and then just like stick and push and so it's just a little different, but yeah, so in most cases I reorder. Only a few times have I ever not reordered, and that was just because of like the few real bigger mistakes that I've mentioned before. 15K is about where you're suggesting. That would be the top end. That would be like great, but that's more than is necessary for sure. Like as long as somebody has like 3 to 6K, I'm pretty happy there. But the way I like to say it is that I would say having 3 to 6K to start to risk, right? Like that's your amount to risk. But if you have more money on the back burner that you could pour onto it once you actually see that it's good. Like for example, you put in 5K, you see, holy crap, this is going amazingly well. And now you can feel more confident in dumping more cash. That's like optimal perfection place to start. Because otherwise you're going to be dealing with cash flow. It's just going to be more tough. So that would be the best, would be, risk 3 to 6K with some more on the back burner. But really, as long as you have 3 to 6K or so, I would say that's about the best spot to be. Your video content is great. What are your plans for audio/written content? Any ebooks in the works? Not ebooks. This would be like way in the future, but I think at some point, I think having a book would be cool eventually. I'm probably talking like 10 years from now. That is like not something I'm immediately ready to work on. It also sounds like the most difficult thing I would probably ever do in my life. But I think like at some point in my career, like I think it'd be cool. Now in the more shorter term, how you said audio and written content, I really want to get going on this podcast idea. I've mentioned it. I've mentioned that I want to do a podcast. For those of you that haven't heard, I do want to start a podcast. It is not an Amazon FBA centric podcast. It's not just going to be, how to launch a product. It's going to be like more like Tim Ferriss show-esque. Like, yes, there's going to be stuff that's applicable to those of you that are just interested in the Amazon side, but there's also going to be things that are applicable to the broader sense of business. There's also going to be things that are applicable to the broader just life optimization in general beyond business, health and just overall wellness and doing just squeezing every ounce of your life out of what you can, like that's really my broader philosophy beyond just Amazon. Like I never wanted to just be the Amazon guy. So the podcast would have that. Sure, there might be some Amazon tied in. Obviously that's like a part of who I am at this stage of my life. But that's kind of the idea for the podcast, is like deep dives into anything that I think is seriously important and interesting and I can learn from myself and people could learn from as well. Written content, I've been doing some like written posts like in the Facebook group or on my Facebook business page, my Matt Loberstein business page on Facebook. You can see some of that. I should probably have a better strategy for like written content, like turn those posts into like articles, because they're like kind of like articles, like they could be articles. I'm just doing it in like a more casual, like, just on Facebook type of way. Are you launching new products and how are you launching them? I'll do a quick plug for the Facebook group. There's a free Facebook group in the description. The reason I say it right now is that exact question came up like a day or two ago, and I responded like a ton of comments on that post. So get into that Facebook group. It's free. It's in the description. You can ask questions to me anytime. There's other people to help you out as well. And I went pretty in depth on that post, so you can see it in there. Sam or Matt, you got to check out Feedback Wiz. Have you? Yeah, I'm poking around in it a little bit. Tom Wong told me a lot about it, and they also they were telling me about like affiliate offers, things like that. I know it's better than Feedback Genius. I haven't transferred like my main account just because of like the migration period. But honestly, I think it's probably better. It's probably cheaper. I'm all for it. I think I've already been recommending it like in passing even before I had messed with it personally. Now I'm poking around in it. But I think, honestly, I think Feedback Wiz is probably the way to go at this point. I'd add another 1K to take your course. I think it's one of the most important things to have a great mentor, and you're definitely one of the best in the industry. Look forward to learning from you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, like I've always said, I'm never going to say it's necessary to have a course. Buy. I'm not that type, but for sure, I mean, if you have the luxury of having that investment ready, that you want to, skip some steps along the way, avoid losing money on other mistakes, save yourself some time, then yeah, I mean, I think that my course would probably be a great option to help you save money or get going faster, make more money sooner. So yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I'm glad I'll be seeing you in there, dude. I've heard Amazon has been shutting down a lot of listings for no reason. Would you say it's risky to start now? Nah, I mean, I haven't. I mean, look, dude, since before I even started on Amazon, everyone, and geez, this goes even beyond Amazon, everybody in life is just constantly like scared shitless. And it's like, it's never that bad. Like, there's always these big things that if you go into any Amazon Facebook group any day of the week, there will be 25% of people there flipping out that it's the end of the world. And it just never is. It's just not. Like, so I haven't heard of any recent listing shutting down more than normal. So, I mean, I'm personally not concerned. If you're not doing anything wrong, there's very little reason to have negative consequences put on you if you're actually not doing anything wrong. I'm skipping a few to get more recent. So if I skipped your question, feel free to ask again. What is the exact amount you started with for Amazon FBA? So here's the thing. I started a long time ago, and I started with what's not optimal either. Back to like the course thing. One thing that the course has that I didn't have is that the course isn't just what I did, and what I talk about on YouTube isn't just what I did. It's also like what I know now that I didn't know, right? So sometimes there are aspects of my personal story that are not what I would recommend. Does that make sense? So I started with I think my first order was like $800, which is very low. And it was hard because as soon as it got going, I was out of stock. There's just so many problems like that. And also back then, keep in mind, there was a lot less competition back then too. So it was a lot more doable with less investment. That's just true. That is true. It's for sure still doable with relatively low investment. But if somebody comes to me now and is like, I have $800, I'd be like, geez. And and I had more money available in terms of other hustles I was doing, credit that I was willing to put onto it once I knew that $800 order was viable. That then I think I reordered relatively soon, probably within a few weeks of starting actual selling. I think I reordered about $1,500 if I recall, somewhere in that range. I'm currently taking another course. Matt, I'm taking your course next. Awesome. See you in there. You can link the LinkedIn articles to your Facebook. Yeah, I should do that. If I said LinkedIn, I meant Facebook. Right now, I'm actually posting them on Facebook. But you're right. You made me think of that. As I should be posting them on LinkedIn too. If anyone's active on LinkedIn, feel free to look me up on LinkedIn as well. For the longest time, I never touched the thing, but recently I've updated it, tried to make it a little more legit. I think it's probably a really good resource. So, but if anyone can help me, I have no idea what the LinkedIn strategy should be. I don't even like I haven't really posted like a post on, or a video or anything on LinkedIn, but I don't know. I don't even know if it's a big opportunity for me. But let me know if anyone has ideas for that, or feel free to send me a connection or whatever the hell LinkedIn calls it. Big Matt coming up. Been watching you from the beginning. Glad to see you're doing well. No questions. Awesome, James. I really appreciate that. Glad you've been watching from the beginning. That's so cool. It's cool too, just in general. There's certain names that like I literally remember seeing when I had 50 subscribers, 100 subscribers. So those of you guys, you know who you are. Like I remember those names, and I appreciate you guys still being here. When do you know if the product is going to work? I've been selling for 2 months a product that sells at $12. I have sold 600 units, but still not positive and get only about 10% of organic sales. Well, right. So you're not positive in terms of cash flow yet. I assume that's what you meant. But look at your day to day. For example, are you like just based on yesterday, like how much you sold versus how much your PPC was? Like, was that break even? Was that close to break even? Personally, I would give it more time if it's close. If you're just like bleeding money, then that's probably when it's time to like think like, is this not working on this product? Before you ever give up a product, this is good advice that I feel like I haven't said, at least recently, is like before you give up any product, like I mean, it's obvious, do everything you can, right? Like try everything, try other forms of marketing, try a different price, try new pictures, try updating everything, like change it up. You can't just be like, oh, it's not working, I'm going to give up, right? I mean, that's something that I probably don't say enough, but I should make that clear is like, this is not, and I think this is implied by a lot of the things I say, it's not just launch and then off into the sunset you go with your millions of dollars. It's that there's always going to be, hurdles and things that don't go well and things that do better than you expected, things that do worse than you expected. So, yeah. What would be an alternative to PPC? So I would never not do PPC. At least try it. There are some niches that truly it doesn't make sense, kind of, in a way. I mean, I would argue that it still makes sense for more minor keywords, and there's ways to make it make sense. And I mean, the obvious alternative would be like any other form of marketing, right? The go-to would be Facebook ads. Facebook ads, I would recommend those in conjunction a lot of the time. Pretty much in all cases. Do you sell seasonal stuff? If yes, do you take it out from Amazon for off season and put it back when it's in time? Any advice? Nothing that is like purely seasonal. Like if you're selling something that's only gonna sell at Christmas, then yeah, you might have that problem. For me, I have stuff that is seasonal to some extent, but not entirely. Meaning, I just try to have a ton of extra inventory for that season, and then I just try to have minimal inventory the rest of the year, and I'm selling not very much the other times of the year. Not for all my products, just so you guys know. But I do have some less important products for me that are seasonal. So that's my advice there. Excuse me. Do you think any other e-commerce platform will become larger than Amazon in our lifetime? Well, lifetime. I mean, that's a big question. I mean, we don't even know what the substrate that is the internet will be in our lifetime, or how long are we going to be living, right? So I don't know if I can answer in our lifetime, but I definitely think Amazon is going to be dominant for quite a while at this point. I don't see any other platform giving it a run for its money in that way. Like take Jet, for example. I just don't think it's going to reach, or even Walmart.com. It's just not going to reach Amazon level, in my opinion. Now, if I start to sense that it's getting there, well, then we'll probably start talking about it. But to me, it's still not even close, and I don't see anything that is brewing that is going to reach there. Now, an industry that as a whole could be just as big or bigger, but not individually bigger, is the direct-to-consumer model. That is huge for me. I'm very excited by a direct-to-consumer model, but I don't see any like mass retailer giving Amazon a real run for their money. Is it much more to have product packaging done in the US? My product will need to be sourced from multiple factories. I feel like sending them to one factory risks them copying it. I mean, why would that risk them copying it? I mean, it's pretty common to have like packaging and product done in separate. I would say do it at the same if possible. I would avoid doing it in the US. I think that adds a lot of cost, a lot of logistics headache as well. Keeping my day job while I'm building Amazon FBA business, then onto real estate, then dream car time and helping others. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's similar to my sort of outlook on it as well. I think people should start with another form of income that is the safest place to start, a side hustle. You know, it doesn't take that much time to start one of these businesses. You know, there's such in all aspects of work, there's such a difference between actually working and like pretending to work, right? And you know, literally, like if you're doing like 1 hour of real focused work per day on your own hustle on the side of a 9 to 5, like trust me, 1 hour a day of real devoted work, like you will get a lot done. Probably more than you're getting done 9 to 5 if you're actually doing stuff. I think that's a big difference. So, yeah. What do you think about giveaways? I'm not a fan of the. I'm not a fan of the giveaway sites, and that's because basically I'll keep it short. I've made a video on this in the past. Search like Amazon something gurus, like gurus aren't telling you something on YouTube, you'll find it. But basically my issue with the giveaway services is that the pool of buyers, meaning that all the people they're giving the coupons to are sort of like they're the same pile of people, and Amazon is aware of that. Right? So it's not that I'm against coupons. It's that I'm against feeding these pools that are just looking for coupons. I can feel free to keep asking if you need me to go deeper on that, but that's the issue that I have. You can absolutely do your own sort of giveaway on your own. That's called marketing. What did FBA Green? I am currently getting $5 to $7 pure profit with my product. I have 6 reviews and I am ranking at 7 on my main keyword and sell about 15 units per day. Is this good? Yeah, I mean, you tell me, dude. That's really good. That's great. Congrats. I would say don't get too comfortable. You know, that's great, but keep pushing. Max out what you can do with that product, and also look at the opportunities that are next to it as soon as you can invest in that. What's your opinion on launching platforms such as Viral Launch and ZonJump? Do you use them? So I just kind of addressed that. One thing I will say tentatively is that I have not used it, but ZonJump does catch my attention more than the others because they claim to be using Facebook traffic. Now, from what I've gathered, I think it's still sort of the same pool, but they might be running ads as well. I don't know their model as well, but still it's Facebook traffic. So if I was going to be interested in any of the launch services, that one is catching my eye above the others. I still am not personally using it and probably won't. But for those people that are looking for it, I wouldn't even say I'd recommend. I'm not going to recommend any launch service ever, but I know a lot of people that follow me are inevitably going to use launch services, so I'll just say that that one is piquing my attention a little bit more than the others. All right, I'm going to ask a question because I already made the video and that was dope. Yeah. At what point do you recommend hiring a VA? Should one master their craft before help or do it in conjunction? For me, it was definitely after getting to like a pretty comfortable position and just realizing I should get things off my plate. You know, there's money coming in. I want to build up a little more infrastructure for scale. For me, it was that. It wasn't out of like necessity. It wasn't even that I literally didn't have the time. It was just like I should put these systems in place and act like a real business at this point. You know, I think it also depends on like your level of your current financial situation and funding. Like I think like, you know, with my new business that I'm working on, like I'd really like to, like, I don't know if this will happen, so I'm not saying it for certain, but like there's a good chance that I'll have more employees for my new business within like 3 months of starting than I do with this one after 3 years. You know, like I just want to put those things in place from the beginning this time because one, I have more resources. Two, I'm willing to risk more. So that was for me always the fear with hiring is like, you know, you're making a commitment to, you know, send money to somebody. I mean, like you have to feel like you're in a comfortable financial situation to take that on. I'm going to live forever, so probably. Yeah, me too. Elliot, what percent of your SKUs are all around products versus seasonal products? What do you think is a good balance? You know, by percent, I don't really know. I mean, they are all a mix on some level because I have products that do pretty well. It's a spectrum, right? I have products that are like not seasonal at all and do well or not well. I have products that do not well all year, but then do really well in Christmas, so that's more seasonal. And then I have ones in the middle too that do like well all year and then extra well during Christmas. So I don't know how to put like an exact percentage on it, but you know, it's a mix. It's a pretty broad mix. Everybody like, share this video. Just love this guy. I appreciate that. Hit the like. If you're actually watching all this, you better do it. Third time's a charm. PPC monthly budget recommendation. Okay, I'll hit that question. So the reason that so I think I've addressed this before, but it's not the way I think about PPC because PPC is not a budget that you are only spending. You're spending to get money in return. That's definitely the goal. That's definitely what should be happening if things are going differently. So for me, it's that you start testing and you get immediate feedback from the sales that come in. And then if it's really good, you start spending more. If it's really bad, you might start spending less. But to me, it's not like a line item that I budget because it's going to be adjusted based on what's actually happening, and you're getting that money back, hopefully, or at least partially. Like you're not literally just spending it as a budget. So, you know, I would say start testing at like $30 a day. If you're comfortable with more, go for it. If you're comfortable with less, that's okay too. But you need to just start testing and adjusting based on that. And you're going to start seeing sales coming in as well. So it's not like, that's just the way I think about it. I don't know. I don't think about it as like, oh, I need to budget for PPC because it's like a money in, money out thing. Love how you look long-term past your FBA journey. My brain works the same way. I may be late to the game, but I'll catch up to you. Yeah. Look, when I started FBA, people thought it was late to the game. It's not late. It's never late. It's just different. Things evolve. You know, somebody could start an eBay business right now. Nobody's talking about eBay, but you just have to do it better. Like, you know, either you're first or you're better. There were people that were successful early that sucked. That's true. But there will be successful people that are late that are better. That's just also true. I am launching my product in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to get over 10 reviews, then push PPC without doing giveaways. What other advice do you have? My advice, that sounds a little soft. I think you need to come out the gate a little harder. You need turn on PPC right away. You got to just just do it. Like, yeah, it'll convert a little worse, but just start testing, start gathering data, start getting it going. Don't wait till 10 reviews. How are you going to get 10 reviews if you don't have any sales? Do you have a plan to get those sales? Do you have a plan to market somewhere else? Because you're going to be budgeting for marketing somewhere. You might as well throw some at PPC as well. You know, Facebook ads, something you need to get those sales going. Hi from Vancouver, great content. I have a question. What do you think of AMZ Scout free extension similar to Jungle Scout? I haven't personally used it, so I just can't really say. You know, I think multiple of them are fine. The reason I still talk about Jungle Scout is because that's what I use and that's what I'm comfortable with. Does that mean it's the only one that's going to work? No. I'm not a software junkie. I've said that many, many times. Like, I am not married to any software. I don't even want to say Jungle Scout is necessary. Is it going to help people? Yeah, for sure. Oh, by the way, I haven't told YouTube this yet, but I can give, this wasn't intentional, but I can, for people wanting the Jungle Scout extension, I can now give a $20 off coupon. And it also gets you extra uses of the product tracker if you get the web app. So if anyone wants that, I don't think the link in the description is updated yet. I'll try to remember to do that. If not, the Facebook group there's a post in the Facebook group. So if you want a discount on Jungle Scout, I can do that now. They reached out to me because I've been an affiliate because I use it, and they said, here's a coupon you can give out. So I'm just passing on the deepest discount to you guys. There was like a other tier where I could only give 10 off if I wanted to, and then all transparency, I get a percentage of the sale, right? That's how it works. So, but I'm just giving the deepest discount and making a percentage of a less number. But like, I mean, that just makes sense to me. So hopefully, if you guys want to take advantage of that, just let me know. But yeah, I mean, to finish on that thought, I'm not married to any one software. Let me catch up. I'm like a bit behind. This is a good question, but I'm not sure I have a good answer on the fly. What is the one question you would ask if you could ask a question for all the viewers? Answer or not, maybe there is an answer from viewers. I mean, that's a cool question. So I think I'm understanding, right? It's like, what is a question I can ask you guys for an answer? Or like just something for you to think about. I don't know if I can think of something good on the fly, but the one that comes to mind is something that I've talked about in the Facebook group, which is like, do you even know what your goal is in this business? Like, do you even know what you're shooting for? Because I feel like a lot of people, just from the questions I get, they don't. Are they trying to make $1,000 a month on the side and they're willing to risk it? Are they trying to make $1 million business right away? Like, what are you actually trying to do? Because the plan to get there is going to be different. It's different to try to make $1,000 a month just on the side of your other income versus trying to scale a major freaking brand. It's just different. There's different strategies. It's different. So knowing where you're actually trying to aim for, like, what are you trying to achieve in this business? That's something that I would definitely ask of anybody that is interested in starting, or maybe has even already started. Just like get clear on what you're actually trying to achieve. Are you trying to replace your salary? Are you trying to make, a little extra money to cover your car payment? Are you trying to dramatically change your life and make life-changing money? It's just different strategies, and it's different outlook. It's different amounts of work. It's different amounts of risk. It's different amounts of investment, all of it. So, really understanding that, because so many of these answers that I give, I've struggled with this over time, is that as I've gotten the same questions multiple times, I've realized that there are different answers for different people. Like, it makes me sometimes wonder, like, I can't just give an answer to everyone, because it's like, well, it's different for different people. So I think understanding like where you're coming from and what you're trying to do, and where you're coming from, like, what's your personal financial situation? Like, I don't know if you can risk $1,000 or not. So, knowing where you're at and knowing where you're trying to go. Yeah. Second follower of Matt Loberstein Media on LinkedIn. That's cool. Yeah. That's definitely, I only created that business page just so I could put a logo on my LinkedIn. Also, wait, where did that go? I've heard that Alibaba companies have been known to recreate products that you ask them to make. Have you ever experienced this? No, I haven't experienced it. I think it's just one of those things people are, again, fearful of. Probably not happening all that much. It's just not that big of a deal. I just realized I look funny on the screen because the sun is moving north this time of year, and now it comes through this window. So when I'm live streaming, it makes me look like a ghost. So gonna have to adjust the live stream setup, given the sun setting in a different location. Where do you find a quality freight forwarder? In the Facebook group, just ask in there. We've got multiple in there. Can you do a storefront URL in your Facebook ad? Yes, you can, and that would be a smart idea if you're trying to drive sales through a keyword. Best way to do it. What are the most time-consuming tasks that you outsource to your VA? The most time-consuming are not the ones I did first. So what I did first was customer service, which was honestly not very time-consuming. The ones that he spends the most time on are editing my YouTube videos, anything graphic and video takes time, like it just does. I mean, so he'll spend a lot more time on that type of stuff versus like responding to a message. What other courses do you think you'll make in the near future? Honestly, I have no plan on making another course. Like, I feel like I don't want to make a course of anything that I don't feel qualified to teach, obviously. Like I did this for years before I never even thought about making a course until you guys asked for it. Like that's just the reality of it. There's no way, like I don't have any other course plan in the background. I feel like that course, the Zero to Brand course, for those that don't know, that's the essence of what I have mastered and learned and feel competent enough to teach at this stage, because I've been doing it for years and I've made mistakes. I've learned, I've had successes, I've had things not go well too. I've learned about it. It's changed my life, and now I've just started talking about it. People wanted me to teach it. That's where it stands on that. So, until I have something that people are asking me for, I have no plans to do that. I still hope to grow that course a lot. I genuinely know it's the best one. It just is. The amount of work I put into it far exceeds the other ones that might be considered competitors of mine. The amount of experience I had going into it far outweighs the amount of experience that the others may have had. I never want to throw anyone under the bus or whatever, but it does bother me that mine's a little less populated, I'll say. So I really think that there's still a lot of potential for mine to get out there more. I need to do a better job of marketing it, but I don't want to be I just got a DM earlier today, and it was saying that the guy's planning on joining the course. I said, that's awesome. And he was just saying, I love how you still answer my questions and you don't just say, oh, you need to get into the course. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do that. What if I got into this live stream and it's just well, I'm not going to tell you, you got to get into the course. That's just not going to be my style. So I want to help people regardless of if they're in the course, not in the course. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that I really hope I can get a lot more people in there, because I think that I don't want anyone to feel like they bought a course and it was not worth it. And I feel like people think mine is worth it and they will get their value out of it. That's my goal in making it. That's why I put so much time and effort into the thing, was that I wanted it to be fair value exchange and more. I don't want people to buy it and be wasn't worth that much. I want people to buy it and be whoa, this is worth twice as much. So yeah, that was a bit of a rant on that, but that's what went into it. It really is, I'll just say, if people don't know, forgive me if you've heard this before, but it's A to Z. It's everything to go from zero knowledge up to launching on Amazon. But not only that, it's from there on. It's what's your plan for traction and scaling and growing this over years. That's one of the things that really differentiates mine, is that it's not just how to sign up for a launch service and get your product onto Amazon. And it does include getting your product onto Amazon, but it's also laying the foundation for really building a product, company, and brand that is something that you can grow for years of your life. So that's enough on that. But get in there if you want to be in there. If you're considering it, you should do it. But yeah, back to the question though. Other courses you're considering making? I mean, yeah, nothing in plans, but if people start asking for something, I'd be curious. I have no idea. So if people start asking for something, I'll potentially at least start considering that. Have you ever guest starred on a podcast? Is that something you would like to do? Yeah, I would love to do that. I'm down to be on any podcast. I've only been on a couple, not too many actually, but yeah, super down. How do you keep track of bookkeeping? I'm having trouble choosing a software. I have a CPA that does everything, but for the Amazon side, I use Managed by Stats. I have a link in the description. Managed by Stats is what I use to plug into my Amazon to track profits. QuickBooks with my CPA is what I use for my overall big picture LinkedIn with my credit cards, bank accounts, everything like that. How do you compare your course with the Amazing Selling Machine? So I've never taken it, so I can't say exactly. And look, I think that one is probably really in depth. The problem is it costs like $5,000 or $6,000 or something like that. And I just think like for anyone that's a lot. Like I don't know, like that's just a lot. So I haven't seen it in it myself. It's probably pretty good. It should be if it's going to be 5 or 6 grand. But my thought was like, how can I have something of that level, but at a lower price point? Not the lowest price point. I didn't want mine to be the lowest price point. I wanted mine to be a medium price point with the high price point value. So, yeah, I mean, I can't give you a side-by-side comparison of that because I've never taken it. But I just know it's very expensive. That's my impression of it. It's just like, that's just a different game. I mean, 5. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's like in that range to pay for that course, which is just a lot of money. That's just too much. I mean, that's like your first order. Like if you don't need a course at all, put it into your first order. But if you're gonna get a course, like I don't think you need to spend that much on it. If I were just starting out and had to buy a course, it would be yours. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let's find some not course questions. I feel like we talked about that a lot. Damn, 87, what's up? What was that? Got a lot of people here. Thanks for being here. How important would you say design is in building a brand? Very, very, very important, and something that I'm just now even learning even deeper how important it is. I think design is so crucial. Like what I've done up until this point, like meaning my existing brands, is, how can I cheaply emulate what a real brand is doing? What I'm trying to do for my new company that I teased at the very beginning of this is how can I come out the gate looking like $100 million brand, right? That's the way I'm thinking about it now. That's how important I'm thinking about design, and I think it's big, yeah, very big. It's like the entire way that you perceive the product and the business is design, and it's more than design. It's like copywriting. It's it's everything, but design is going to play a big role in that. Let's see. Did you look for a product specifically in a field that you were interested in? Not really. And that's something I've talked about more recently that I began to regret a bit. I should have been taking the cash flow opportunities that I did, but also I should have started something I was more passionate about, because now I'm being like, oh shit, I need to start this thing that I'm more passionate about. And that's what my focus is beginning to shift towards, this thing I'm more passionate in. And, but I should have been building that on the side all along. I should have been taking like this nice little cash flow. I'm not saying to, this is one of those points where it's different advice for different people. If you're financially stable and you have other streams of income, I think the only answer is for you to do something that you're passionate about. That's where I'm at now. But I get it. Like, that's not what I did, right? That's me giving advice in retrospect. What I did was like look for opportunities because I needed cash flow to like, change my life and buy myself the freedom to then go do the thing I wanted to do. So that's where I'm at now. So I think you ultimately will get burnt out if you don't love it. And that's what I feel with a lot of my brands now. That's why I'm, like I just said, starting to shift a lot of my focus into this new idea, because those ideas are just not they're not like, I'm making them sound lamer than they are. One of them I'm into it. I thought that was going to be the one that I really did the thing with, but now I'm realizing, wait, I really need to go into the passionate space, which if you guys that really follow my stuff, you already know what industry I'm talking about. So that's what I got to get going. How's the plant? Plant is not, Jessica laughed. Plant is not doing so well, guys. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that plant. Let's see. I missed the first couple minutes. What's the new business? This replay will be up. You feel free to go back and check it later. But basically, just said, I only teased it. I just said that I want to start a big brand that is something I care deeply about personally, not something that is just an opportunity. I think it's probably the biggest opportunity I've ever gone for, but it's a different game than what I'm, say, teaching here. This is me doing something that requires serious research and development, serious investment. It's a longer timeline. Like, I'm starting to talk about this, but like, I don't think a product will be out for easily 6 months. I mean, it's like, this is going to be a long process, which is why I like hesitated to even talk much about it, because I don't want to like people, by the time I ever do something about, like, by the time you guys see it, and I will be talking openly about that brand as it launches, but it's just a long way away right now, so I don't want to like, have people lose interest either. But basically I just said, as you guys know, I'm super obsessed with health and nutrition and biohacking and all of this stuff, just life optimization, everything I said that is just me in general, beyond just wealth, beyond just health, like it's all of it together, and just a brand that encompasses all of that, from nutritional things to physical products that impact those areas. Like, I just want it to be this broad thing that is something I deeply care about, not something I'm just building for cash flow, not something I'm building to sell even. Like, literally, and maybe I'd sell this business eventually, but the way I'm thinking, I don't even know, the way I'm thinking about it is that I would never sell it. I want to just build the business that I want my name to be for the next 20 years. Like, I want my face tied to this brand. I want everyone to know what it is. It's something I would talk openly about. I would tell every single person I meet about this business. Like, it would just be me being the founder of a product company, not, that's like what I say even on Amazon. That's what I've done with my Amazon brands to some extent, is like, don't just be an Amazon seller. That's something I say. I've had some of that on my Amazon brands, which have allowed them to emulate real brands, as I said earlier. With design, they emulate real brands. With this, I want to go full real brand, and just like really do the things I want to do, and do it out of passion, because I want to do products that I genuinely want myself. It scratches my own itch. And I genuinely think it's good for the world. Stuff like that, like stuff I can just so get behind and want to tell every single person about. That's what I'm starting to work on, and that's what's exciting me a lot right now. It's like all I can really think about. Like, so that's the idea. Did I even say what industry? Yeah, I said it. So yeah, something in that space that if you watch my other videos, if you follow me, you know what I'm talking about. This whole movement of, I don't even know what to call it. That's one thing I'm struggling to even come up with a name for this business, because it's so like such a weird broad thing. Like, I don't want it to be, it can't be too specific, but it can't mean nothing either. Like, usually I'm good at coming up with brand names, but this one is killing me. Bastion, what's up? Hey Matt, can you speak on design-driven products? My current product is better in every single way, but organic sales are not picking up, and I believe it's because people don't favor my design. I mean, I think it's tough I think it's so different for every single product. It's hard to give like a broad answer for that. But, the one that comes to my mind first is that some products, it makes sense to show the physical packaging in your photos. And physical packaging is a great way to differentiate, because some products are not going to be that different by physical design. So when I was talking about design a minute ago, I was more thinking, logos, fonts, colors, even just like the graphics on your images, things like that are what I'm thinking about as design. I was thinking less in like the physical terms. In the physical terms, it'd be like, changing materials, changing proportions or size, changing colors, stuff like that. But a lot can be done through graphic design. Like, it doesn't all have to be physical. It can be the way it feels and looks on the screen, because that's ultimately where we are making the sales, on the screen. We can't get it into people's hands beforehand. So hope that helps a little bit. Lobertrition. Yeah, that one's not happening. I appreciate it though. I've even thought, I haven't given you guys enough details to actually do this, but let me know what you think of this idea in general. I almost thought about like just describing what I want to my audience and like putting up like a prize for if I actually chose the name that somebody suggested. I thought about doing that, and it would have to be in like an anonymous way so that people wouldn't be able to just like copy other people's ideas. Like it'd have to be like I would set up like like a form of some kind, and you'd like submit your idea in your email or something, so that like that would be your official submission. It wouldn't be public, so other people could copy it. And I'd give like, I don't know, like $500 or $1,000 if I actually chose. I might choose nobody's though, right? Like I might think like, none of these are right, but it's something I thought about. I'm curious if anyone seems interested by that idea, but I might throw that out just because it's so hard to come up with a name for this thing. But yeah, I would need to I'd need to give you guys some more details before we could really like name it. All right, I think that's a good place to wrap up. For those here live, I'll hop into the chat for a couple minutes so you don't have to leave right away. If you're catching the replay or if you're here live, hit the like, makes a difference. Hit that bell so that you don't miss the next one. Whether I post a new YouTube video or I go live next time, you'll be able to pop in here and get your question answered. Also, on the video when the replay is up, leave me comments of what videos you want me to make. I've been a little slow in making videos. I hope you guys haven't forgot or noticed too much, but I just want to make videos that I feel are worth making. And like, I know a lot of days I'm just like, oh, like, do I really want to make that? I don't know. So I just want to hear, give me some more motivation. Be like, make this video, make this video, make this video. So like, not just motivation, but I mean like this idea. Like, I want to see you talk about this more. Then I'll be like, okay, 5 people said that. I should probably make that video. So leave that in the comments of the video or in the Facebook group, just anywhere. Get at me. Follow me on all the places. Facebook.com/Matt Loberstein, Twitter, YouTube, obviously, you're there, Instagram, all that. That's it. See you guys in the next one. Thanks for being here.